And back in the studio, Lisa Waters Lane coming back with just inspiration. What are some things we can plant now that will beautify our gardens? She comes each week just to share inspiration. So welcome to the studio, Lisa.
Thank you.
So what inspiring things do you have for us today?
Well, I'll show the pretty stuff first because it's already up and blooming and pretty. And the answer is yes, you can put these things in your yard now.
Oh, yeah.
And they will be fine.
Yeah.
They like the cooler weather. So these are our Mammoth Pansies. So Mammoth have those big blossoms with the little monkey faces in them. It's kind of very much your traditional pansy. Does very, very well here. Just a super little plant for the cool weather when you need a little bit of brightness on your drab days. Pansies definitely do it.
So what's the difference between pansies, viola, Johnny jump ups, all the different, they come up by a lot of different names. Right. What's the difference between
pansies
all of them?
Are usually bigger, have a bigger blossom to them,
like
bigger, kind of a bigger plant, usually. Bigger leaves, plant itself's going to get bigger. Your violas, which Johnny jump ups are part of that viola. So violas reseed easier, smaller bloom, smaller leaves, smaller plant.
More blossoms.
More blossoms. They still love the cool weather. It's great to mix into your pots. You can put pansies and violas together. Of course you can. But yeah, both like the cool temperatures. We'll be happy till we start getting really hot. Like
I tell folks, I'm telling clients, I'm teaching garden classes right now. Mm-hmm. Because of the extremes of the mountains, these will love growing.
Right.
I would say don't start out early spring or late winter, whatever this is. Don't start out now with tiny 6-packs.
Right.
The bigger the roots, the more success you're going to have.
Right.
So this is a gallon size. It's $12.99. So it's big. It's probably at least a foot, 14 inches across. It's got a dozen blooms on it already. You'd be better off planting this in the yard because the roots are established enough where it will actually fill in faster and it'll take the extremes better. Whereas a 6-pack, it'll just sit there and it won't really grow very much until like May.
Right.
So you're better off early. And then once you get into the actual May, June, July, summer, the out of frost, then you can go to the 6-pack, marigold, 6-pack petunia, 6-pack, 6-packs, that 6 cells in a pack. But early on, 4-inch gallons, you're going to have far more success by doing that than going with smaller. I would say the same thing throughout the season. So tomatoes, or if you're planting peppers, it's better to go with a 4-inch. The bigger the root, trees, the bigger the root, the more success. So we look at that with our returns, fruit trees. The 5 gallons come back more often than a 15-gallon, just because the root mass is so much larger.
Got a little more forgiveness.
Very much so. So anyway, I didn't mean to go there, but this is a nice big full plant. It's glorious.
Yes. So here's another really beautiful big one. So this is Snapdragon. So this one is Snaptastic Orange Flame.
That's
and it is beautiful. So it's kind of a pinky orange yellow. It's really, really pretty. One of the prettier ones.
It's pink with a orange center. Very unusual. It's a new color.
Right. It is a new color. But Snapdragon's another cool season plant. Very happy in these cooler temperatures. Also very animal resistant.
Oh, yeah.
So if you've got the deer, the javelina, the bunnies, this is the kind of color you want to go with, not the pansy so much. But Snapdragons are amazing. They'll frequently reseed themselves, and you'll have them coming up in the yard. What are you looking at?
That little white thing. It's showing up on camera. Just a little piece of paper is all it is. So my bad.
Thought it was a bug.
For you folks watching the vlog, the video piece of this, now it's better.
So we have our cool season stuff. We got pansies, violas, snapdragons, Dusty Miller, poppies. We got some columbine in. We got some rainbow ascot euphorbia. So some of those early season things are really starting to show up now, and it's a good time to be hunting them down.
But it's going to snow this week, or it snowed. I had 3 inches. That's okay. These guys like that. They prefer that.
Okay with it. They might have a day or two. They're like, oh, but they pop right out of it. A little bit of sun, they're off and going.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I just wanted to bring those in for pretty color. But some of the other stuff that we've gotten in for spring blooming, which is still, are you going to stick that thing?
No, I was going to try, but People that are watching the videos are not going to like it. We'll get it off camera. There we go.
So the things that are spring bloomers, many of which are dormant right now, but you get them in your yard, you get them planted, and they're going to wake up in your yard. They're going to be beautiful, and you're going to get to enjoy the spring blossoms.
Yeah.
So definitely we got to start with Forsythia.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's kind of the first thing to bloom in the spring yard. So Forsythia is that shrub that has the blossoms on it first. It's bright yellow. So it really just shows up out there in the yard, bright yellow, puts its green leaves on later. But it's a terrific plant for here.
Yeah, yeah.
Also very animal resistant.
Yeah.
So we don't need to worry about deer and those kind of things.
Javelina, pack rats,
Right.
none of them eat the porcupines. They don't eat Forsythia.
Yes. That is true. So we've got 4 different ones, and they kind of have 4 different heights.
4 different Forsythias?
We do.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah. So we have springtime Forsythia, which is the smallest one. So it gets about 2 by 3, somewhere in there. So more of a dwarf. Great if you got you want to put it in front of some other shrubs, if you're just throwing some color out into your perennial bed, just a good one to put in there. Magical gold, which gets about 4 by 4. Then we have Show Off, which gets about 5 by 5.
Okay.
And then the last one is the Northern Gold, which gets about 8 by 5.
Yeah.
So we got one for every size that you could possibly want.
Why commit to pruning when you can just plant the right size and never do anything? Yeah. And they're all equally as hardy. You know, just kind of put them in the right place and you're good. So
they're wonderful out in the yard. People should put them in. They're pretty foolproof. There's really not a lot that goes wrong with them. Yeah. Lilacs, another one that's dormant right now, but is going to be blooming here pretty soon. And that's another one we have different sizes of. So we have Little Darling, which gets about 4 by 4.
It just sounds cute.
It does sound cute. It's kind of a lavender bloom to it. We have Scent and Scentability, which is a pink lilac, but the fragrance on it is amazing. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful one. And then we have the deep purple bloomerang. So bloomerang is one that blooms usually at least twice a year, sometimes 3. Conditions are right. Still has a really nice lilac smell to it, even though it's a smaller shrub. But the blooms are just really beautiful.
Kind of hip high by hip wide.
Hip
repeat
wide?
Blooming. Well, maybe hip.
Whose hips?
Okay. Yeah. Let's go 3 by 3 by 3 by 3.
Are you talking about my hips?
Yeah. Nope. I would never. I know better. What did I just walk into?
There you go. Then, of course, we have the big ones. We've got Lavender Lady, Sensation, Pocahontas, Blue Skies. We're going to have the traditional old-fashioned grandma's purple, the common purple. And there again, lilacs do really well here.
Every yard should have at least 3. I mean, they have so many colors, so many sizes. Mm-hmm. They're drought hardy. Right. Animals don't eat them. They're great.
And both of those, Forsythia and lilac, love the full sun.
Oh, yeah.
So no problem putting them out in the full sun. I think we have time. We'll sneak in. We also got in, so these guys like shade. So if you have a shady part in your yard or under a tree where it's getting more shade, so your rhododendrons.
Perfect.
And your azaleas.
Those have huge buds right now on them. I was looking at them. They're magnificent.
So some of the big rhodies are like the Tribly and the Jean Marie. They're kind of a red blossom to them, and they're going to get, what do you say the average rhodie
I've
gets
seen
here?
them out in Hazleys, some of the old established ones, above head height.
Yeah,
easily.
They will get big.
I mean, if you just let them go, they'll go easily up 6, 7 feet.
Right. Right. So we got some red ones. We've got some that are more purple, like the Florence Park is more purple. And then we have some that are a little bit smaller. So if you don't have a great big space, but you still run a pretty rhodie out there, and the PJM is one that's kind of a purpley lavender one.
That's a pretty one.
We got I always say this wrong. Rapaho. I always say it wrong.
If you just say it with confidence, no one's going to verify. I mean, they're jumping on the website to go look to see how you pronounce it.
You might be surprised. So those are definitely smaller. So they're about a 3 by 3 at maturity, and the leaf is smaller on them. Beautiful blooms still.
We are out of time, Lisa. Your list goes on and on. So Ken and Lisa Lane, the Mountain Gardeners, thank you for inspiring us. Get those things in the ground now. Be right back after this.